hell, Jason. I'm here to return the favor. I'm feeling strange, drowning in the grave. All alone, I rot in my own skin. So see if I stay, a stronger restraint. The perfect flame laid down my own name. Girls rising. Girls rising. The scars remain, a deeper disdain. A blood field, blinded response. A bitter I cling to the ones that remain. Exile without reason. The time to catch the fears. We feel this, we suffer. It's clear to blow. We're building the power, strengthening the heart. Yeah, building the wall. Welcome to your demonstration.
All right, welcome everybody. It is Monday night. It is the Spawn Review, episode 27. We are here to rock and roll issue 100. And you know what I noticed? When we first started this show, it was just Sean and me. And we already did issue 100 last year. I completely forgot, but we have a brand new panel, so we're going to go over it again. Except for this guy right down here is joining us for the first time in a few weeks. He hasn't even read the book yet. He missed the homework assignment. So everybody boo this man in the chat. Make him feel better.
What? Sorry, excuse me. All right, but
it tells us 20 seconds before we go live.
Yeah, boo this man.
No, excuse me, man. But like, there's certain comics, and I feel like anybody who's watching the stream right now can possibly agree with me that if since we're all major comic book collectors, that there's some books that we would choose not to read, even in a reprint, because we want to get the original copy and then read it.
I get it. I completely get where you're coming from with that.
Oh,
I'm just surprised that you've never read it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I got to get the copy. Like I've been hunting for it for fucking all year.
Yeah,
and it's so because
I just went on eBay and I found a bunch, and $40 gets me that Frank Miller cover that I see, and that's the one I want.
Oh, I see. So you like to get everything's quick and easy, where you don't want to like do the footwork and find it.
Hey man,
I can easily go to one of my stores. The two stores by me definitely have it.
Okay, so where do you live? New Jersey.
New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There's the Joker's Child, which will probably have it, and if not, A&S Comics might have it, or Fortress of Solitude in Newark might have it too. But yeah, super great book. So I went 50, 51, 52, and now I've read 100. So that's my order of reading. You
got to do 53. You got to finish that little run there, because that was so. If everybody caught last week, we looked at Spawn 50, which was the first showdown between. Or was not the showdown. It was the precursor to the first showdown between Spawn and Malebolgia. So issue 53 was the big knockdown drag out first fight of Malebolgia and Spawn, and that set off a brand new story arc. So check that out if you guys haven't. This is the rematch, issue 100. So this would be the rematch. We never covered 53, but that was your guys' homework assignment. Scary Batman Jenkins does say, "Boo! Did the dog eat your homework, Zach?"
Yeah. God damn it. I thought he would help.
I knew it. Member of the channel, Cosmic Studios, with 20-month member chat. Thank you, brother, for supporting the channel as long as you have. That is awesome. Says, does anyone know what happened to the Greg Capullo Vault Edition? Amazon canceled my order. I want to talk about that for a second. I've been meaning to post about that. They did the same thing to me, and I can't find it now anywhere. Everywhere else you go to try to get it, there's no copies available. So they either cancel the entire thing, which I'm hoping is the case, because if not, then I can't get it because it's not available. So that better be the case. Or Amazon just fucked up and canceled everybody's order because they didn't get enough, and now I still can't get it through anybody else. Has anybody else had that issue besides me and Cosmic Studios? Because I'm very, very upset about this.
I did not order this. I didn't know it existed.
Dude, it came out in like April or something of 2024. Pre-order for the Spawn Vault Edition 3 or whatever it is. It's the Greg Capullo art. So it's supposed to be a collection of all the Greg original black and white art from Spawn. and I was
Those are
extremely
fucking
excited. I paid
expensive.
like 180, whatever it was, 140, 180, whatever the pre-order through Amazon was, which is the same thing I've done with some other stuff through them. And then I just got an email a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, that said the order had been canceled for lack of availability. And so then I jump on. I'm starting going. I'm going online. I'm looking it up. I'm trying to find Barnes and Nobles. I'm going to all these other places. I can't find it anywhere as far as availability. So I'm hoping that Todd just canceled the entire thing or pushed it back permanently or whatever's going on, because otherwise you can't get it. You're gonna have to go to the secondary market at eBay and pay like twice as much to get this. That really pisses me off because I paid that money up front to get that reserved. So yeah.
Dude,
Did you
I'm
see it on
sorry to hear
eBay?
that.
I haven't seen it on eBay yet. No, because I don't even know
Maybe they're just
if
going to
it's
do a
out
bigger
yet.
print run.
Maybe, but my thing is, if I missed out when I reserved a copy and I have to go and pay like double the amount from someone that's got it, putting it on eBay, that's going to piss me off because I still haven't got my money back. I have to hit up Amazon and figure out what's going on because they still have not returned my money for the pre-order. So
they canceled it and you got robbed.
They cancel it and they still have my money. So I got to figure that out. But yeah, I've been meaning to bring it up and I keep forgetting. But yeah, Cosmic Studios, I'm not happy about it. So that sucks. All right, let's say hi to the chat real quick before we get rolling. Number one in the chat, number one in our hearts, Mark Penguin, member of the channel. Great to see you, brother. It says Sonntag doing the schemes and scams again. Am I? What'd I do? What'd I do this time? Hail the Lore was first. Okay. That's my bad. All right, Hail the Lore is first. Shout out to Hail the Lore. Sorry about that. Justin Cook, great to see you. Says, is this the stream Gooch is on? Usually, yes. Usually Gooch is on the stream. He is not on here tonight, but I think he'll be back next week. But stick around. Duck Bacon is in the house. Hail Joe. Hail all. Hail the chat. Hail to you, brother. Great to see you. Hail the Lore is here as well. Green with Mark Penguin. I like that. Like that. Steve is in the house. Hail and greetings to the chat. Hail to you, my friend. We have Pizza here as well. Great to see you.
What up?
SF Gaming in the house says hail to the chat. YSA is here as well. As I said before, Scary Batman Jenkins. Ready to look at some awesome art. We got Black Spiders here. Love it. What up, my dudes? What up to you? What up to you? So, like we said before, we were looking at issue 100. If you guys are not familiar with it, you're going to get familiar with it tonight. But this is the official throwdown rematch between Spawn and Malebolgia. It is also the death of Angela, which was a very sad aspect. If we cover that here real quick, we knew that there was a lawsuit between Neil Gaiman and Todd McFarlane over the character of Angela. Todd lost, had to get rid of that character, and this was the final book he was able to use her, and he killed her off in a great fashion. So the death of Angela is in this book as well. Go read it if you haven't. Well, stick around for this show, but definitely go out and find it like Zach is trying to do. It is well worth it. Paul, anything you want to say about this before we jump?
I definitely think it was a big level up. So for me, not reading, so I probably read the first 25 issues regularly, and then I haven't and I just read 50 for the first time. And now reading 100 is just like such a big level up, in my opinion. I think the art is insanity, and I also see that the plot is by Brian Holigan and Todd, so it was a different type of feel too. But I really like this aspect of like how they drew hell and all those things. So I'm excited to dive into it. I'm actually going to buy this book.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah,
So.
compared to issue 50, which we did last week, hell was depicted pretty cool in that as well. But this has a different feel to it. Like, I feel like Greg really kind of defined how he wanted hell to look artistically within this book. And it really kind of culminates with this book. This is also the last book that Greg does until issue 300, really. He did a bunch of covers, but this was the last time he does interiors on Spawn until issue 300. So this was his kind of farewell book. I remember when this came out, I was really sad about it because I loved Greg's art at the time, and I always hated when artists I like leave the project. So this was kind of bittersweet, but I think some of Greg's best work of his career was done on Spawn 100. Like, this book is phenomenal. You'll see when we jump into it. Blue Boy Comics is in the house. Great to see you.
What up?
Angela got Todd scourged. Scorched? Did I say that right? Yeah. All right, let me bring this up and jump into this.
Cool cover. It's the skin ripped face, but it still shows the eyes. I fuck with it.
Yeah, this was kind of interesting. I thought Todd's depiction. So this is Todd's cover that we're looking at right here, and yeah, it was interesting, right? It's got the hamburger face or whatever you want to call it, but still get the eye symbol. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's a different take, and I just noticed it again, like looking at it. It's really cool. I like that it like stayed there.
And I don't know if they really did that much going forward or not, or if it's just, I don't know. Maybe Todd was just like, what looks cool? This.
I'm always a mix between his hamburger face. Like, I prefer not to see it, in my opinion. I like his mask. I like when
I feel you.
I like when you see his mask on his face and you see his teeth. Like, it's a skull. It's one and the same. Like, with the white eye pieces, like his teeth is shown. I like that look a lot more.
I like the mask look a lot better just because I like masks in general. The face is kind of cool depending on the situation and the emotion he needs to use. Plus, it's just a wicked looking face. So depending on how Todd uses it within the storyline, or Greg for that matter, is interesting when they decide to show it, when they decide not to show it. But yeah, there's some really good aspects about the character. I did like the cover of this where he's just kind of leaning over the trash heap that is the 100 sign for this book, just signifying the significance of this. And to be honest, I mean, this is huge. When you think of Image Comics launching in 1992, most books except for Savage Dragon all fell off, right? Or they were relaunched or discontinued or whatever. Spawn hitting the 100 mark was big time. So shout out to Todd doing what he does.
I think Walking Dead went 181, right? 181 around there.
Afterwards, yeah, eventually once that launched, yeah. But this was like the first of the original 7 that dropped. They actually hit the numbers.
I like how he did it with 200, and I'm not too sure if he did it with 300, but I know he did it with 200 because I have that cover of like the big numbers. Like, I like the big numbers. Like, it's just cool.
Yeah.
You just got.
It wasn't 200. Wasn't he like holding it up or something? Or
yeah, it was crazy. I got the second printing was worth more. I sold that for a couple $100.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Nice, good deal. So Paul mentioned earlier the plot is by Brian Holguin and Tom McFarlane, the secondary. Story by Brian Holguin, whatever. Pencils by Greg Capullo and inks by Danny Mickey, who took the majority of it, and then Tom McFarlane doing his things as well. Colors by Brian Hammerlin, Dan Kemp in the Hammerlin Studios.
And you can see how that changes because in issue 50, it would be like, okay, pages 12 to 18's Todd, this person's this, and this one we're just putting the names in.
Yeah, they're like, we're just like, we both did it,
And
figure it out.
I love that Mike Mignola cover. That one's sick. I see that one pop up all the time. Now I know it's 100 because it was that Virgin cover.
Yeah, it's a cool cover.
The Hellboy, the guy who made Hellboy. I love that style of art.
We got the classic Frank Miller art. People were torn on that sometimes, but I think that was a really cool cover. And then Greg Capullo's cover was badass as well, down there on the bottom right. So story summary from Spawn 99 says Angela halts an army of angels from going to war on Earth's behalf, and then comes to the aid of Spawn in the Battle of Urizen, which, if you guys haven't been reading the book or didn't read the book, was this giant, like, just black, like, I don't know, shadow monster. It was huge. It was like a kaiju or something. And Spawn defeated him using, I think, his immense power from like Green World and all that. It's been a while since I actually read that book, but it was another really good, well-drawn book. Harnessing the elements power of nature. Yeah, the return of Urizen to an earthbound prison. Meanwhile, Terry rushes Wanda to the hospital while Granny urges Cyan to protect the sad man by using her mind. After the victory against Urizen, Spawn and Angela question the earthbound demons Ab and Zab, and finally learned that it was Malebolgia who sent Urizen upon the Earth. So, if you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. It just kind of a lead up to this story.
It does kill me. Like, I know it's happening, but I'm like, motherfucker, like, the spoilers are coming. Like, I'm going to know what happens in this book without
you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. We got Rick Saylor in the house. What up, brother? Great to see you. Black Spiders is saying I have the Alex Ross cover and the 100 cover. Nice.
The Alex Ross cover is really cool. I just wish it had the mask on. You know, I know at least for Alex Ross, he's always classic. And then, you know, for that one, it shows his like face, and then I don't know who he's holding. I don't know.
It might be Cyan.
Cyan.
Yeah, it's probably Cyan.
Looks like a boy though.
It does kind of, but she's got pigtails. You can kind of.
Oh, it does got the pigtail. Yeah. I see it.
I see what you're saying though. Like at first glance, it kind of looks like a boy.
Don't let Alex Ross hear you say that.
Alex Ross is one of the only guys I get a lot of slabs from, so he takes enough of my money. Super awesome splash page. This is sick. I would love this. I would love, like, looking at this book, I was like, damn, I would love to buy original art from this book particularly. It's just so good. Like, it's just so good.
Like I said, this era of Greg's art, you know, along with Danny Mickey on inks and Todd on inks as well, sharing the duties, there was just something. I mean, like, they were killing it on this book. Like, they hit their stride. They knew exactly, the team was set. They knew exactly what you wanted to do. The colors were always great, and the pages just popped. And great way to start the book, to open up the book. I also like how they kind of use some of the verbiage here, where it starts out, you know, the air is stale and still, heavy with the stench of scarred or seared flesh and brimstone, echoing with the tortured screams of the damned. One voice can be heard above the infernal choir, and it's Malebolgia is all pissed off because Spawn has just beat Urizen.
Gone into this in a while. Like, I feel like the old books, it was always like it said the 8th circle of hell. I feel like right now it's just hell, right? You know, like, they really just, like, hell's just one thing.
Yeah,
you know, and this, it's like they got the layers.
I know they got the layers and everything that they established back in like issue 8.
Yep, with Billy Kincaid.
Yeah, with Billy Kincaid. And I know they dive into it. Like, so we're going to meet a character here, Mammon, here in a second, that is another Lord of Hell. I can't remember what circle he's from. But yeah, I always kind of thought that Malebolgia being the 8th circle of hell, that he was, you know, he calls himself the Lord of Hell, right? So that's just the 8th circle is the top hell, I would imagine, unless they've retconned that.
Yeah.
But you know, especially when you see modern day with Nyx and everything, that's just what I assume. But the Mammon character is apparently a pretty powerful character. I dropped off of reading this book, starting with this issue going forward. So I missed a lot of the really big Mammon arcs. If you guys don't know who he is, I do have a video that I can pop up that explains it in about 30 seconds. But basically, so this is going on. The Malebolgia's pissed off. Everything he's kind of done to send at Spawn right now has not worked, and Mammoth's kind of showing up and giving him the business about it, you know.
Yeah, he's basically pressing, like, he's just like taunting him in a sense. He's like, and you think you're here to collect, and he goes, perhaps, you know, you're out of the bounds. This is still my realm, and my power here is absolute. So, like, he's basically saying, like, I'm still the alpha here, and you know, so basically they're teasing, you know, that this guy wants, you know, Malebolgia out of here.
And they were kind of setting this guy, I'm assuming, because like I said, I didn't really read a lot of issues 100 through 2 or 101 through 200, but they were setting this guy up as the new bad, right? Because, you know, in the storyline, you're planning on killing off Malebolgia. This guy was being set up as like the next guy that Spawn was going to have to deal with. And the interesting thing about the Spawn universe, I guess, is that in their own circles of hell, they have immense powers, but outside of that, they're not as strong, if I'm getting that correct. So Mammon doesn't have his full strength or full abilities when he's in the 8th circle of hell to really like take on Malebolgia, but he can, you know, get under his skin and get on his nerves in this.
And yeah, the next page too, this is sick. Like, this bottom panel of Angela, Spawn holding both of them. It's like 10 out of 10. Like, you're gonna hear a lot of fanboy of Paul today. That's all I gotta say. A lot of fanboy today.
I just have to say, man, I miss the Angela character. It just sucks that lawsuit had to happen, that the character had to be taken out of the universe. And we're never really going to see that character again. Like, it was just a really awesome design, and she was just
Marvel has done no justice.
But you could
well, that
make
too, yeah.
you could make a female Angel, but if you do it modern day, she'll be fully armored, so she wouldn't look like
Yeah,
that.
you won't have the sex appeal that they had back in the 90s with Angela. You know, half naked, just badass. I mean, there's just
she's
something.
fully clothed. She's fully clothed in Marvel.
Well, yeah, Marvel. She is. Yeah, Marvel. Yeah, it's another story.
Such a sad thing. Dude.
She's Asgardian.
Yeah, that's just so horrible. Paulus Arts is in the house. Great to see you, brother.
What up?
Pizza said the cross hatching is insane. Yeah, this era of art, fantastic.
And I really dig. So, like, it's always like, at least with Spawn, it's just because it's going so long. It's like, I really dig the teeth, and maybe it's because I haven't seen it. You know, I think the teeth. He looks like a monstrous, nasty, demon. That's the point. He's not a superhero.
I like, so when they started pushing him more with his face exposed, it took me a second when I was reading it to get into it, because I do like the mask will look better. But when you actually get into like the character and what he actually is, the face exposed era where he's mostly like this, it was more emotion, right? So Todd or Greg could draw him a little bit more expressive, even though he doesn't have like lips or eyebrows, so to speak. He could still show like the rage and everything that's going on in Spawn right now. And he did kind of capture a really cool aspect about the wide open jaw. Like, it's just, it does have a very intimidating look, because Spawn, he is a demon, right? Like, he's a hero and everything, but he comes from hell. He has all the attributes of from hell as well. So this is Ab and Zab, two spies, I think, from Malebolgia that Spawn is basically interrogating here. So is Angela. And they basically are letting them know that everything has been going on. Malebolgia sent Urizen and all this stuff. And this is basically coming to a point. So if you guys didn't read issue 99, these are giant hands. Let me bring this up. This is the hand of Urizen. So Urizen was this gigantic character that Spawn pulled into the earth and trapped into the earth, basically essentially killing him, I believe. And all that was left are just his, claws sticking up out of the earth. So go check out 99. That was a very fun book.
And it's a big joining on point. Like, even for issue 100, there's like, you can clearly see this is a big jumping on point too, because like the way they establish, like they kind of like Spawn reestablishes himself in this book.
Yeah. Yep. By the way, shout out to the Core 20 that is in the house. Great to see you guys. We got Corey Barton. By the way, all the fantastic artists that are in the chat: Duck Bacon, YSA, Corey Barton, Paulus Arts. Great to see you guys here. Thank you.
Corey's art, fantastic, dude.
Fantastic.
Beautiful teeth shot right there. Like it, and I feel like too, like drawing, a sexy character versus the nasty, vile character. It's a good mix. It really is. It's a nice like mix, and they're on the same team. That's why I dig Spawn.
And this was fun. The fact that they were really starting to push Spawn away from the superhero stuff in this era, and really embracing the horror comic aspect. They pretty much started doing that in the 40s, but that was like, this was a horror comic. It wasn't a superhero comic, and like, yeah, you had the sexy elements of like Angel and some of the other characters. I can't remember the other Angel character that popped up throughout the storyline in the first 100. And then you got Spawn. It was just this kind of demon, Dracula cape looking character, but he was the hero of the story, but wickedly drawn. Loved it.
Oh man,
talk about
it. It's amazing how much lines, how many detail is like implemented into a panel, and you can still tell what's going on. Greg Tom McFarlane are equal on able to go ahead and pack as much detail as they wanted to and still be able to separate foreground, middle ground, and background. And I just don't know how they pull it off, because I still have difficulty figuring that out.
Yeah, they're on a different level at that point. And Greg was really kind of coming into his own, or had been in his own when it came to layouts. 100%. Pizza says that the Spawn face scares, but at the same time nice. Michael Pritchard is in the house. Says hello,
Yo.
everyone. Oh, brother. What issue does Greg become main artist after Todd? It was like 20 something that he officially took over. I don't know the exact issue. I think Todd was still drawing at 24.
No, Greg Capullo did a couple issues. I think it was like 17, 18.
He did fill in
And-
issues when Todd was
Yep.
out doing the Batman Spawn crossover, but then Todd came back and he took over the duties for a little while, but not very long. He drew into the 20s because he did that whole what issue was it? I can't remember. It was
He's
somewhere in
going
the
for a
20s.
minute. He was definitely going for a minute. I think he stopped at like issue 27, 28.
Yeah, yep, that could have been.
Oh no, I 29 definitely is where
Greg
that's
took
when he
over
got-
fully.
yeah, because that's that kid Redeemer or something like that, where the alcoholic cop was abusing the kids. And
Okay.
Todd was doing the art in that, and then right afterwards, you see Greg from here on out.
Yeah, it's somewhere in that era, guys. But I think Greg was doing a lot of layouts at the time, from what I've heard as well. So he was doing work on the book, even if Todd was still doing a lot of the penciling. But yeah, it kind of seamless. It did the seamless kind of transfer of one artist to the other, and they didn't really make a big deal out of it. They just kind of was like, "Oh, Greg's drawing now," and just he took over. Jeremiah
And
Blackwell's in the house.
comparing
Good to
it
see you.
to last episode, but Greg drew like Todd. This is Greg drawing like this animated, more still has Todd influences, but it's like before he was drawing Todd McFarlane, now he's doing this is like Greg Capullo, because I could see like the aspects he took even from this and then he put with Batman. Like you can see it, like the Terry face on the bottom. It looks like that came right out of the Batman New 52. I've been rereading that. I just bought that omnibus. So
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Like I do think that Greg tried to kind of capture the Todd feel, especially with I'm sure there was a conversation behind the scenes where Todd was probably saying like, I want to step back, want to focus on these businesses, the toys, all that kind of stuff. And I want you to take over, but maybe let's ease everybody into the art change, But yeah, this is fully into Greg doing what he's doing. I did think it was interesting the contrast here, Paul, that we just saw with issue 50 last week, where in issue 50 it was Terry was in the hospital doing this hospital drama, right? Here you go, 50 issues later in issue 100. Now Wanda is in the hospital doing the hospital drama while Spawn's in hell. It's interesting to have the completely reversed aspect of this book.
And she's pregnant.
Yes.
And we see it as a quick jump, but it is over 2 years, right? More than how many years? No, it's how many is 12 divided by 50 is what?
I can't do math in my head. Somebody do it real quick.
I'm gonna do it real quick.
Silence.
Yeah, he's doing math. You gotta have the silence.
Yeah, like four years.
Between
4 years, no hospital scene.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Yep.
could be a coincidence, or he's like we'll see what happens when we look at 150. If someone else,
Yeah,
is in the
maybe
hospital.
one. Now
Like
that
shit, there's a formula, and we're
that
gonna
could
get
be
it,
that's going to be interesting. We'll check that out. Jeremiah
It
says
would,
when,
it would make sense because for every death there is life,
that's
and
an
like,
interesting. That's
well,
an
I mean,
interesting
like-
point. No, I mean that's an interesting point. Yeah.
it kind of would make sense, where if something hot and heavy was happening in the Spawn lore, that by a ritual, and in some cosmic game of of the Force or whatever you want to call it, like that, like in order to step up in hell or or to reign in heaven or something like that, somebody's got to die of importance while somebody is born.
Yeah, that's interesting thought there for sure. Jeremiah Blackwell said when Greg first came in, it was a smooth transition. Actually took me a couple issues to notice it wasn't Todd. Same here, actually, when I was younger, because I was still very much in my early teens when I was reading these books. In this scene, we basically see Cagliostro and Angela talking. And long story short, Spawn is wanting and going to confront Malebolgia for everything that's going on. And we find out from Cagliostro Oddly enough, after 100 issues, that the very place where Spawn came into the alley for the very first time from hell is actually a gateway to hell. So anytime he actually wanted to, if he known that was there, he could have gone into hell at any point. I thought that was just...
It makes total sense.
Yeah, it actually does. Like, at first I was just like, oh, that's kind of like a really easy way, right? To be like, oh, here's a back door into hell, so to speak. But it really does make sense when you think about it. When he crossed over planes from the spiritual world of hell into the real world, he left a door to hell that's been open this entire time, or at least if you have access to it.
And maybe it's giving more credit, but maybe that's why he always stayed in that alley, because it was closer to hell and he didn't know. Maybe that's why I felt like home.
That's a great point.
Or maybe,
especially when the symbiote, issue 50, we heard, we found out the symbiote or the costume was longing to go home, right? At that point.
Yeah.
Thinking of that 50
which
issues
is,
later, maybe that's why he's always drawn to the alleyways, because that's where the costume wanted to be.
Which is also explains why so much bullshit happens in that alleyway, because evil is just naturally attracted to it.
Yeah. No, that's a great point too.
And looking at this page too, another stellar page. It's simple, and I love how, like, even this character, what's his? It's I keep thinking it's
Cagliostro.
Yeah, Cagliostro. Yeah. But what's his name now?
Sin.
He's now dead, right?
Each of these characters have that look of, like, if you took the silhouette of the character, you know who each character is.
Oh, yeah. Design wise.
They're really distinctive. I really enjoy it. It's really simple to follow along. And he tells, he's saying he's going to go to hell and kill this guy. And Angela dips out. Yep. And he gets sunned right now. Good luck, son. He sunned him.
Yeah, right. And at this point, Cagliostro is still very much looked at as a ally and a good guy. Yeah. And then, obviously they retcon that later to what his character ended up becoming. One of my favorite things of Spawn back in the day was just how they would always depict his face within that cowl of the cape, and just how it would, like, always disappear into the shadow. You got a little bit of lighting from the eyes here, but it was just always wicked looking. So any kind of close up, whether he had the mask on or if it was just his hamburger face, it just always looked really badass. Eric asked, are you guys going to review the Creech? It crossed my mind. Like, this is a Spawn review, but the Creech is very, very close, even though it's not necessarily in the universe, but just because it is Greg and Danny Mickey and all of them. I might one day.
I want to get Creech. I never had it, but
it's good.
So the thing about Creech is I had the toy for some reason. I think I saw it in the store. I had it. I had that giant Creech toy.
Yep, I got it's back there. You can't really see it because of the lighting, but I got one.
The
back
long
there.
one with the whole thing. Yeah.
Yep. Sean gave that one to me. So yeah, shout out Sean. All right, where we go. Okay,
I was going to hell. He's walking through the way he came in. That's how you get back home.
What I love. Go ahead.
Each panel is so cool. I couldn't think of laying this out. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense. Like, it just shows a little trickle of, like, a different body part. Like, it got the foot, it got the face shot, then it got the upward face shot. Like, it's really good storytelling. It's, like, phenomenal.
One of the biggest strengths that Greg has is the sequential visual storytelling. And like you said, the way he uses the camera, he just pulls things out, as this whole monologue is going on from the writer, Todd and Brian, whatever his name is, but visually wise, it's all very dynamic. You go from, like, far out shots to close up, pull out, close up, major close up. And I love how he does the paneling here. As he is walking and descending down the staircase into hell, these panels descend down into hell as he's walking as well, right into this kind of splash anchor page. And you just get a really badass shot of him standing in this fiery inferno version of hell, which, if you remember in issue 50, it kind of looked like this, but not as intense. Like, this is way more intense with the fire and everything than you saw in issue 50. So they've just really kind of redesigned or designed hell in a way that was just absolutely wicked looking. And the colors just pop right off of the page. There's one thing about Brian Hamberling, Dan Kev, and the colors in Spawn during this era just absolutely grab you and pull you into the story. I mean, this is some beautiful, beautiful art. Everything works on this page.
I didn't catch the step thing.
Yeah.
And that's even cooler now. You know what I mean? Like, it's even cooler because they're shaped like the steps. Like,
yeah, it's just signifying the descent into hell. You know, sequential storytelling by the artist is great.
And then bam, back to this girl getting all fucked up. You know,
back to Wanda in the real world as she's having complications with her pregnancy, and if I remember correctly, the issues leading up to this, like she was already having some weird feelings about the pregnancy, like it felt off to her or something, like something felt weird about it. I can't remember what the story was behind all that. I'd have to go back and read the issues before this, but this kind of led to this. And obviously, you know, Terry's upset and angry about everything that's going on, worried about his wife. Again, hospital drama offsetting the fighting in hell, just like we saw in issue 50, is pretty interesting. And I absolutely loved, they do this modern day too, don't get me wrong, but I like the storytelling in the 90s where you would constantly be bouncing back location and storyline, following two different story arcs at the same time.
Yeah, I try to that's why I kind of like team books. And I try to do that with Project Naosis. It happens in a couple of the issues too. Like,
yeah,
it's always good. It's what they do in TV shows. It's like, okay, you got
exactly,
you know, the first 10 minutes with somebody, and then it jumps to the other character, then it goes to another character. And this is done so smoothly. And like I said, like Greg's really like, it's crazy that because I didn't know, you know, the lore behind when Greg stopped. So I go to 101, I'm like, ew, you know, like,
right.
Dude,
and
like,
don't get me
like
Angel Medina came through, and I loved Angel's work, but it was a very different style than Greg, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't stick around.
Drew. It's like a new, like, we need to redo the Todd thing. You know, that's my opinion. But
it was way more cartoony. Yeah, definitely. Steve says McFarlane said once he almost came back to penciling Spawn, but he felt insecure because Capullo was so good. Hey, I get it. You know, and that takes a lot of balls too.
That explains a lot.
To recognize that Greg was hitting another level, you know, and saying like, you know, if I come back, you know, can I get up to this level again, you know? And that's, you know, that takes some guts. That takes some swallowing, some pride. And I think he made the right decision because Greg's run on Spawn to me is legendary. And all the other stuff that Greg has done in his career has been really good as well. But the run on Spawn was some of the best work Greg has ever done.
Get to that next page, dude. Get to that next page.
Okay.
I want to know how long it fucking took him to do.
Look how badass it is.
Just hold on a second. Scuba Snacks says, "Screw Wanda, you can do better, Al." Also, hi guys. Hi to you. Absolutely.
Yo,
honestly, not like for the longest time, you know, like you know, Wanda was definitely there, but after we were like at issue like 180, 200, I was like, all right, find another woman, bro.
Well, let me just say this. So we all know that Al banged Angela at one point. And I'm just looking at like Angela, Wanda, you know, I'm sorry. I would go with Angela.
Yeah, but isn't she like extra dirty? She's just sitting everywhere in hell and she's got no underwear on.
Angela? No, she comes from heaven. So she's gotta be extra clean. You know?
she's down in the dirt, bro. She's down.
Nah, man. She's probably well kept and clean and smells good.
I bet she is.
Yeah. Yeah, she comes from heaven. You know, she's got to be the opposite of all these creeps you see here in hell.
Yeah.
Speaking of all these creeps, it's really kind of cool. You see the rogues gallery of characters that Al has sent to hell as Al. So this is what is just badass about this page. Al's just walking in like a badass into hell. Like the first time he comes to hell in issue 50, he was sent there because he exhausted all of his power. He kind of came, he crashed down. It was a different entrance. This time, he comes walking in on his own, fully badass power, doesn't give a shit about who he runs into. He's already taken down that big-ass monster Urizen. He's faced everything else about bullshit is thrown at him, and he don't give a fuck anymore. And he's walking right in here, and you see Billy Kincaid. You see the Freak. Who else am I missing in here? That's all I can really recognize.
I was about to ask. I was like, do you guys know all these characters up here?
Well, no, this is the Freak. This is Billy Kincaid, I'm assuming. Okay. And I don't know. Chat, let me know if you see anybody else in here. They just might kind of be randoms. But definitely the Freak.
No, they're not randoms. They're all characters that he's fought.
I just don't recognize them. So
the third panel is I forget the guy's name, but it's him and his monster, and the fourth panel is Freak. You're right.
Yeah. Yep. Freak. He's unmistakable with his nose design. But yeah, just fantastic page. Just love this. Again, the art
cool.
just jumps
Next
off
level.
the page at you.
Next level. Like, that's why I said, like, leave it on here. We're looking at the hospitals. Look at that layout. You look at all the characters.
It's beautiful.
Like, and the coloring is done perfect. It's like, it's simple. Like, they're a darker shade and he's the bright, it's really well done.
I always loved it with comic book art when the closer you get to the camera, like when you're framing out the picture, right? So you got Spawn smack dab in the middle and your attention's drawn to him, but you're framing this out and you're pulling the camera back here. And the closer that the characters get to the camera, it starts getting darker and darker. It really sets the mood, right? That you as the reader, we're in the dark in this section looking out. And all we can see is this, the colors do obviously the majority of the work, but also a lot of the way they lay the blacks down. Eric said, "You guys excited for Deadly Tales issue 2 in 2 days?" Also, No Home here got delayed for a bit to upgrade for the first issue up to 42 pages. Shirley Johnson, the little girl from issue 5. I actually did not know about the delay. I'm looking forward to No Home here the most. I have not read the first Deadly Tales yet. I still have to do that, but
It's
I will pick
fucking
up Deadly
awesome,
Tales
dude.
too.
And the art, I really enjoyed the heart.
Yeah, I thought it was decent. I'm definitely grabbing issue 2 because why not grab more Spawn? And I love Gunslinger, and it's allegedly going to give us the origin on how he gets there. So,
Admiral Wackass is in the house. Welcome, brother. Says, really dope. I got to read all the Spawn. Yes, sir. Steve also brings up the fact that Spawn does smash Angela in her miniseries. Yes.
Whoa.
Yep. Yeah. If you guys read the Angela miniseries, the second issue, I think they heavily imply that they get it on. Oh yeah.
No, I think it's the first issue.
Think he goes teeth first?
I swear to God, dude.
Well, he still had a little bit of a face back then. This is before his face got ripped off in the miniseries.
Oh, he had a little.
He didn't even have. I think he still had the shoelace face going on at this time.
He did. He absolutely
did. He used the shoelace.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you know Angela was like a real one, because she's like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, come over here. Like, what?
If you guys haven't, go read the Angela miniseries. You can actually go on this channel and look back at one of the Appreciating Comic Book Art live shows we did where we actually covered the miniseries. Sometime last year or 2 years ago, I can't remember. Well, we covered that entire series. If you guys are interested, go back in the archives of the video and you can find that stream. So this dude, I don't remember who he is, but he's somebody that in the recent issues, I kind of remember the storyline where he made some kind of deal with he made some kind of deal with Spawn to like get his powers or something, and Spawn threw him off a building and killed him or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, he was
lost the whole.
He's just some douchebag, like Sex Pistol type of teenager who's like a rebel. And he lets like teenagers live with him if they needed a place to stay. Then he would go ahead and like trap them and use them for like his fucking witchcraft spells. For Spawn when
he's got a pentagram on his chest and everything.
Yeah.
I just love what Spawn says. Like, he's meeting these people in hell that he sent there, and this guy's all pissed off. Like, whatever. We had a deal. You essentially killed me. And Spawn's just like, you did it to yourself. All of you. Now live with it as he walks off. I mean, just bad ass. Like, that's a hell of a burn to walk through all those people. They're all pissed off. No fights. No nothing. His presence is enough just to keep them at bay. And he basically just now live with it as he walks away. That's some badass shit. And then right after that,
we know he's the same level as Malebolgia right now.
Oh yeah, like power wise,
extremely
powerful. With everything that he's picked up, all the stuff that Malebolgia is kind of indirectly, I guess, made him stronger. I have to go back and read a lot of those issues because there's a lot of stuff that I've kind of forgotten how he kind of picked up some of the powers he did.
It's really tough to say if I remember correctly, because the problem with Spawn comics, and it's still to this day, it's more better with following up, but in the beginning, like the first 150, 200, each issue was just on its own, and you like bits and pieces. If he picked up on something, you had to read in between the lines of whatever he was doing. And those like things that was in between the lines is like how he was able to get his power.
Yeah.
And you have to pay very close attention. And it's I get it, but at the same time, like, damn, like, catch us up, give us a recap. Like,
Yeah,
what issues did it
I
happen?
agree.
Like, give me
Yep.
something, dude.
They need a breakdown because I agree with that too. Because there's some powers that he ended up getting. I'm like, when did that happen? Like, I completely
Yeah.
forgot. Like how he beats Urizen. He beats that character basically with the natural powers of the earth, almost from like Green World, where he's able to like send vines or something and pull the character down into the earth. Like he controls the earth somehow. I'm just like, what? When did that happen?
The fucking earthbender.
Eric says Spawn smashed Angela, Nyx, and he smooched she Spawn. Spawn got game. That's facts. That's
It's
facts.
weird because he's the biggest
used-
dick ever, like to everyone around him, and yet he can still bag it. Like, what the fuck? Like,
He's got that game.
he's got a face and he's still bagging it, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Todd be a freak, bro. He'd be slamming them into walls and shit.
Hell
He
yeah.
really would. He's
No,
like,
he did. He did on the last one. He
did. Yeah, the she
I think it
Spawn.
was
Yeah.
360. He slammed.
I don't
her
have.
into the wall.
He's like, I don't have time for this kiss. Like,
Yeah, and then gives her a
What the fuck?
smooch with his mask on.
then he's like such a gentleman. He's like, dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My bad, bro.
Twisted Dreams says, seriously thinking about backing Joe's book. It would be my first time backing a comic. What should I expect? As far as the backing the book process or the book itself? The book itself, if you love the stuff you're seeing here when it comes to Spawn or any of these characters like the Darkness, you're going to love my book. It's very much anti-hero, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, adventure, but it's very much not in the style of what, like, I'm not trying to retell Spawn. It's not doing the heaven and hell, although it does definitely dabble into demons and angels and the supernatural world. But there's a ton more that is in that story that I'm revealing once the issue's out. As far as the backing goes, if you back it now, you're going to get the book a lot sooner than people backed it on day one because I still had to draw it. Now the book is done. I'm getting it out. So I'm hoping to get the entire thing fulfilled in the next couple months out to all the backers. So, of course, I'm going to say back it. Also go back Project Naosis by Paul over here. If you love comic books in general, you can't go wrong with any of the books that the creators on this channel make. I'm telling you. Let's do it.
Shout out.
Jeremy says, I really enjoy these reviews since I've forgotten most of this. It was like 15 to 20 years. Yeah, same here. Like I gotta go refresh sometimes. Everything that's going on. Yeah, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel.
Follow on Twitter.
Yes, sir.
Project Naosis, what up? This is so superhero. This next page that comes out after, like I feel like, you know, it's really like I really just love everything about it. I don't know why they don't have an animated style like this. That would sell, my opinion.
I love he just rolls right up to Malebolgia is basically like, I'm gonna kick your ass. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm here to throw down.
Like,
I ain't scared of you. Let's do this. It's been a long time coming.
Chest and pimped out, ready to go.
And they just go like right on. He does a little talking. And then it's just straight on offense. And he just goes at Malebolgia with, I don't want to say everything he's got, but man, he's just knocking him around, giving him lefts and rights, straight hand-to-hand combat. You know, no powers, no nothing. Just a brutal fist fight to start off this battle. And it was kind of a cool way to start the fight.
I personally love, like, if you're going to have two guys, a protagonist and an antagonist, talk, they should be talking while they're beating the shit out of each other because it looks awesome. And, you know,
and that's comics, right? I know some people complain about dialogue and fighting. I'm like, it's fucking comic books. It's a fantasy.
You need it. Otherwise,
it helps tell the story better.
Yeah.
You know? Scary Batman Jenkins says definitely back the book. Talk about my book. In my opinion, it's the best comic come out in many years. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Emma Wacka says, I got my Reaper Destroyer box. Looks great. Probably will have time to read and throw up some pics on Twitter tomorrow. Awesome, brother. Glad it made it to you.
Throw up spoilers. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, do all the spoilers. Yeah, no, I want reviews. I want to know what you guys think. Yo, give me honest reviews. I absolutely want it. So post the reviews on Twitter. Tag me in them. I would love to discuss it with you. After all those fists, Malebolgia basically just backhands him like a bitch. Yeah. And that's what it just kind of shows you that this is not going to be an easy fight, right? We forget sometimes. You look at Malebolgia, he seems like he's out of shape, like he doesn't seem very imposing. Besides the fact that he's huge, like most of the Lords of Hell are or depict themselves.
Yeah,
but he is a very powerful character. He's the Lord of Hell, right? You know, like that's the big, you know, he's very powerful, and he's not just going to take this lying down. And so he just kind of gives Spawn a little reality check for a second, but Spawn's not deterred and comes right back with a nice gut punch and just keeps on. Just love to fight. If you got time, check out the dialogue. Dialogue's pretty fun. Paul, you want to give kind of like a summary of what they're saying in this fight?
Yeah, the main part is like Malebolgia is just overpowering him to the point of like back in the day, this would be Spawn's end, and Spawn is so powerful right now that, you know, he's pushing back, and we're getting that spiel that we've reviewed in recent books that like he's saying, if you kill me, are you ready to take my place?
Right.
Like, are you ready to sit on the throne of hell and take my place? That's what's running through his mind. Like, okay, if Spawn does this, he has to take the throne. Are you prepared to do that, to take my place? I don't believe you are. And yeah, we'll find out.
And that's interesting, right? You know, like the rules are, I guess, you know, you kill the Lord of Hell, you become the Lord of Hell, you take the throne. Which fast forward all the way to issue 350, where we see Nyx take the throne that has been vacated ever since issue 100. Because we'll get to that. I'm jumping ahead in the book. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
And basically, you know, Malebolgia's toying with him a little bit here. You know, he says, like, you know, I made you, I can unmake you, as he just kind of like shoving his fingernail right into Spawn's brain there. You know, just kind of showing a little bit of his dominance. Likes to talk, very cocky character, very full of himself. And then out of nowhere comes the badass Angela herself, and
God, look at that fucking perspective, dude.
Yes,
dude, just arm gear. Just arm gear. No, we don't need leg gear. We just need arm gear.
Yeah, just get the arm armor going on. Yeah. But fully stomach and legs exposed, you know, cleavage going. I love how Greg blacked out her face. You know, he's one of those things like, you know, maybe I just don't feel like drawing the face, but it looks cool, you know. But yeah, perspective wise, this is just
it works for Spawn. It works for Batman. They could do the black faces. It's the vibe.
It's such a sad thing that we're not going to see Angela in an animation or a fucking live action movie.
We are, and she'll probably be in Marvel Rivals, according to some rumors around the block.
Oh, come on. Yo, what the fuck?
Rumors we do have around the block. I don't know, I don't know, but I've been doing my research.
Member of the channel, Christopher Bouchard's in the house. Great to see you, brother, as well as Matt LeBrock. You guys have something visually to look at while they're talking. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. And we're talking. Flying Pin, a couple names I haven't seen in here before, guys. Appreciate you jumping into the chat. Like and subscribe to the channel if you will. We do Spawn reviews every Monday at 9 p.m. here. We look at old books. We look at the newer stuff that comes out as well. We'll probably be talking about the animated series at some point coming up here early part of this year. So yeah, stick with us. Very, very fun topic. Love talking Spawn.
Right, Spawn 100 for all you new people hopping in. We're going over Spawn 100.
Yes. Yep. And I'll try to monitor the chat here. It's a good chat tonight. You guys are rocking and rolling. Love it. But yeah, Angela jumps in basically to save the day. Kind of, if you read issue 99, she kind of does the exact same thing where she comes and helps out Spawn with Urizen as well after she holds off the army of angels that are trying to invade Earth, which would have kickstarted the apocalypse, which, by the way, is Malebolgia's plan. That's his whole thing that he's been trying to do. He wants to kickstart the end times war between heaven and hell. And Spawn has basically been the thorn in the side for most of that. And Angela kind of ostracized herself from heaven, if I remember, because she was standing in the way of the angels. I got to go back and reread some of these.
Yeah, issues. Definitely. This one is making me go back. Like the last one made me go up 2 issues. This one, because I found out after, I was like, I messaged you guys. I was like, when did this style of Greg start? Because that's the trait I want to pick up like ASAP.
Go back like 20 issues.
Yeah,
I'm probably 10 to 20 issues, I think.
You want to get your mind fucking blown for a second? Pick up What If Daredevil had killed the Kingpin, which is issue number 2, and that was Greg Capullo. He did all.
I was about to say where did we get?
I was about to say like what?
He did the interiors to that issue. Could even tell.
Okay.
could
Well, yeah,
not
if you go
fucking
back
figure it out.
far in his like Marvel career, yeah, it's
He got me
completely
good
different.
there.
Like he came into his own with this kind of style. He meshed his cartoony style with just I don't know. He really created an awesome style with this. Eric
And
says,
this
"Have
is
you
an
seen?"
important page. The whole
Yeah,
purpose of the page, and I'm assuming this is the right page. He's
yeah,
like, Terry's like, please, if there's a God in heaven,
hmm
let her be all right. And then it's like God in heaven. Then you turn the page, and it's the two guys fighting for the throne of hell.
yeah. It's
You
kind of
know?
yeah, it's kind of funny. And she
Yeah. I love
flatlines.
that. I love that.
Great storytelling drama, right? Because you're holding us on suspense, right? Angela's just jumped in on the scene before
Mhm.
suspense. It's a page turner. You go to
Yep.
this page, it's a little bit of a cool down for one page, but this ends in a very dramatic aspect of the flat line of Wanda, a character that everyone is, grown to love and care about throughout the storyline, and then
Yeah.
right back into the action. So to me, pacing wise, I think it's great. A little bit of a reprieve from the action and then right back into the action with all that. But yeah, it's interesting to see Terry, he's kind of giving a prayer there to exhausting all of his options for Wanda. And Angela wasn't supposed to show up. This was originally supposed to be Spawn one-on-one. That's what Spawn wanted, kind of much as you see in issue 360 when he goes up against Blood and gets his ass kicked. It's kind of the same kind of concept, you know, as far as just the one-on-one aspect. But she
Yeah, but
says,
blood dogs, my boy. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah. Blood. If you guys caught the 2 shows ago we did, 360, whenever that was, yeah, that wasn't even a fight. That was just a beat down by Blood,
Is it
basically kicking Spawn's ass like it was no tomorrow.
comparing how he is in 100 versus how he's compared in 350? Literally, my boy's at the low, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they need to do a Spawn versus Spider-Man. They need to do it. Absolutely. But Angela's like, you didn't really think that I'd pass up a chance to take down one of the Lords of Hell, did you? Which makes sense because if you know the character of Angela, she started out as basically a bounty hunter. She took out spawns and she took out different, demonic characters across the known planes of existence in the universe and spiritual realms. So
Yeah.
she couldn't resist coming in and actually being able to take out the Lord of Hell. She says one of the Lords of Hell, but this is really the big dog of Hell. He's sitting on the throne, which just pisses Malebolgia off even more.
Look what Admiral just posted. He said he went to
What we
Wiki
got
for
here?
school.
Oh, okay, there you go. 16 to 20. Okay, then he took. Yeah. Okay, so there was that little period there in the 20s through the 30s, and then he was basically full time.
So I think 78 is where I'm going to pick up.
Yeah, I would do that because leading up to 50, I know Tony Daniel came in for a little bit, and they did 2 issues a month because they were trying to really get to 50 quick. But yeah, I think altogether, if I'm not mistaken, Greg Capullo did 83 issues of Spawn or something like that. So together, their might, their power just knocks Malebolgia off his feet for the first time. Like Spawn was getting in some hits and everything, but this is the first time they knocked him down, and this pisses Malebolgia off like royally. And in this page right here, the emotion that Greg puts into Malebolgia's scream is fantastic.
Yeah,
Who do you think you
really
are? You're
commands
nothing.
the-
I'm Malebolgia, the Lord of Hell. And he's just spitting, screaming like that is badass.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. This is another page that I would say I would wish I owned the art of. I would like to see how much it is.
Oh man, that'd be so awesome. Steve
Maybe
asked
it's
a
not that
question.
much.
He says, when you guys read Spawn, is the voice you hear from Al Keith David or Michael Jai White? Good question. Probably Keith David to me, but I did like Michael Jai White.
Whoever's the animated guy.
Keith David, yeah.
Because did he do Mortal Kombat too? Whoever did the Mortal Kombat, so I think he did the Mortal Kombat.
Did he?
Yeah, it was definitely the
I'm not sure.
yeah, it was.
Remember.
It was the guy who
Okay.
did the animated voice did it for the animated in Spawn Mortal Kombat.
So Malebolgia just kind of goes off in here. Like he says, I'm Malebolgia, Lord of Hell. I'm the darkness and the spite and the hatred and the deceit. I'm in the holy wrath. Look at me, look at me, and despair. I am the black heart of the universe. He is unhinged here. And at the same time, he's just beating the shit out of Spawn. You see he's basically caving his face in here. And you get this awesome shot of Angela as she's kind of getting up and gonna come right in here. And this shot, I love it. She guts him, right? Cuts open his stomach, his guts fall out. He's just like, you little bitch. I just love that. But this, this whole sequence here, this fight between these three characters, this was some of the best stuff I saw come out of Spawn in the Greg Capullo run. And a lot of it had to do with just the depiction of the fight and good writing too by Todd and Brian as well here. This was a great way to kind of end the seminal run, the 100 issue. Like, it was just one of the better 100 issues I've read. Like, this was just everything you expected, you got. It was just beautifully done.
Yeah.
And Angela even thinks that she's killed Malebolgia here for a second.
What do you mean?
One of her mistakes, she kind of gets into her cockiness, and you get this one last. I really like this though, knowing that you didn't have control of the character anymore. You're losing the character. You have one last just kind of badass action movie star walking away from the death there. Just nice shot of Angela, and that's the last time you're going to really see her in her glory in Spawn, because Malebolgia gets up, pulls out her lance. In the next page, you get this the brutal death shot of Angela here, just right through her stomach or right through her chest, killed by her own weapon that she's killed so many spawns and demons with over the years. Just split her in half. Brutal as hell, but beautifully drawn. Absolutely gorgeous.
And Spawn, like, you can see Spawn's like, fuck.
Yeah, great emotion.
Oh, he had feelings for her too.
I was just going to say, and that's the thing too. Like, he had some kind of relationship with her. I mean, they were never together, but we know that they banged. He had respect for her. He had some kind of feelings for her. So, I mean, this is a big emotional thing for Spawn to see at this point. And that leads to the very next scene, which I think is one of the cooler scenes I've seen in Spawn. She says, "Don't listen to their lies, Spawn. You always have had a choice. Believe me, I know." And then she says, "No regrets," as she dies. And I just think that's a really cool send off for the character. It's almost like Todd. I mean, like, with the whole aspect that he had to go through with Neil Gaiman and the lawsuits and all that kind of stuff. The last thing that Angela says, that character, as she was leaving the book, leaving the series, no regrets. I think that's just symbolism to me there. Spawn grabs her.
Neil Gaiman got his karma back for taking away Angela from Spawn.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It always comes around, man. And you're playing with heaven and hell here.
Yeah, facts. Good point.
Love this jumping out sword.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot here. The panels, how it comes together. You don't actually really see the action here, but you see Spawn take Angela's heavenly sword, or whatever you want to call it. He strikes in this battle cry jumping shot, and then the next page, very followed up by the death of Malebolgia. Severed head. And what does it say here with his primal scream?
You want me to do it?
Yeah, go for it.
Spawn's war cry shakes the very timbers of creation. Oh my God, reverberating across worlds. And it's another splash page. There's so many splash pages in this book, and it's just like payout. And it's needed though for this book.
Oh, absolutely. And Greg, knowing that he was leaving the book, left in fashion. High fashion here, just like awesome page after awesome page, splash page after splash page, and just getting all these dramatic shots big and in your face. Like, this is, you finally have the death of Malebolgia. He's finally beat Malebolgia ever since issue 100 or issue 1. He's been dealing with this character, fucking with his life, messing things up. He threw down with him in issue 50. He wasn't strong enough to beat him in issue 53. He wasn't strong enough to beat him then. And now the culmination of this entire storyline, this story arc that's lasted 100 issues, just ends right here with this amazing splash page. And just, it's just so awesome. That's why I love the old Spawn stuff.
Yeah, this is top notch. Like, this is, I need more, and I'm getting more.
So here's the thing. We talked about this just a little earlier in the show. Paul brought it up. Malebolgia was talking to Al Simmons about the whole thing. Like, are you ready? If you kill me, you have to become me. Are you ready to do this? And this is the kind of the twist on all that. So essentially, Spawn kills Malebolgia. He's the new Lord of Hell. All he has to do is take the throne. That's all he has to do. And Mammon coming in here, basically kind of giving him his props, and Presley took out a Lord of Hell. And he basically says, the throne is yours if you want it. Trying to have Spawn sit on the throne. And this is the point where Spawn pisses off Mammon and denies the throne, leaving the throne vacant. So nobody else can really. This is kind of interesting. I have to ask you guys a thought process here once you get done with this book when it comes to like the recent history of the throne.
Well, the thing is that, he chose not to take it. He's like, would you like to say a few words? And he's like, no, I've already made my choice, and dips out.
Yep.
And that's why he kind of earns the next thing. But that was the same thing. It was like, before someone had to claim the throne, that was the thing. Someone had to claim it. I see the what you're going for. Yeah.
So actually, let's just dive into that right now. The issues of 350 that happened when there was a fight for the throne is almost like you were trying to. There were so many people that were trying to get to the throne. I get it, right? Sit on the throne, become the Lord of Hell. How did it stay vacant for so long? Wouldn't it mean that anybody that was in that eighth circle of hell at any time could have claimed the throne and just never did?
Big plot hole for me.
That's
because I didn't read the next 100 issues, so I don't know.
Yeah, the next 200 issues that it would have been.
Oh yeah, because they have his head on the fucking thing on 350.
Yeah,
so this is the fucking guy.
Yep. So it's just maybe it's a plot hole. You write the book for so long, different writers
did take it, but he didn't take it. It's just it's his to take when he wanted it.
Yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know. Somebody explain that if you know. But yeah, he basically says, "Fuck off! I'm not taking the throne. Screw all you people." He gets Angela's dead body and he takes Angela to heaven. You get this another good splash page of the army of angels surrounding Spawn as he's bringing the dead body of Angela back to heaven,
and basically got the mask.
Oh yeah, and he's got the mask back on. Good point. I just noticed that. And they basically tell him that for this act, kill Malebolgia, he's bringing back Angela. That they basically say he's been redeemed, and they're going to give him redemption if he wants it. And he basically tells them to basically fuck off. He says, "I don't want your forgiveness. You know better than they are." And he's basically made his choice that no side is right here. He's done with heaven. He's done with hell. And moving forward, he says, "Stay away from my world."
He could have took that and got good looking again, but he was like, "Nah, I like being crusty."
Yeah. Yeah.
He's even in shock. This is a great thing. And I honestly, when I turned the page, I laughed. I was like, "Yo, they're just here, yo, come on, come be an angel right now, dude."
Yep, here you go, redemption. And he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna go live in the alleyway some more."
Yeah, I'm gonna have a shitty life.
Yeah,
and then she's dead, and then there's the angel, and then the angel kind of I guess that's the angel's way of since you didn't accept it, this is what we do for you anyways because you're a good person.
Yep. So the angel shows up. Wanda's dead. Terry's distraught, and the angel shows up and basically brings her back to life. So Wanda's alive. Everything is turning out good. Wanda has this moment afterwards where she goes and visits Al's grave and basically is kind of putting everything to rest, right? She's moving on. She feels comfortable about it, and basically letting Al know that she's letting him go and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but then we get to Al caressing her real quick. She's like, what'd she say? She was like,
she said,
"I wouldn't be the woman I am without you. Sometimes it feels like you're standing right behind me, by my side, smiling at me." It's like, damn, you're kids from another man. You think about another man smiling with you.
I mean, it shows that she still has love for Al, her, for her former husband, but she's also kind of letting him go in a sense. It's a new chapter in her life, right? So the issue 100 ends a story arc while also hinting and starting a brand new story arc. Mammon's going to be an issue going forward. Spawn is now essentially the Lord of Hell if he wants to take it. He's got all this power, but you're wrapping up this whole kind of love. Essentially, I mean, they still go with it, but you're kind of wrapping up this love aspect of the two characters. She's feeling good about herself as she walks away, and then Al's just pretty much like, you get this whole brooding at the end, and he says, the night rings with distant sirens and muffled cries, with lovers' sighs and drunken laughter. One voice floats above the rest, echoing throughout the darkness, soft as whisper and terrible as thunder. Can you hear it? This is my fate. This is what I've chosen to be. The world and its shadows belong to me now and forever. I am Spawn. That's how great ending to the story arc. Like I said, putting a cap on the whole Todd McFarlane, Greg Capullo run together, and just that's another great splash. You know, it's simple, of just him on the rooftops, very Batman like. You know, he's back to what he does best, looking over the city, and now he is the protector of the world. He's a protector of Earth. That's basically what he's going to do now. He's fighting against heaven and he's fighting against hell. It's basically this is his territory going forward. I thought it was a great book. I actually thought 100 knocked it out of the park, gave you everything that you could have wanted from the Spawn story, especially sending off Greg, who wasn't going to be drawing the book anymore. You were taking out characters like Malebolgia and Angela, two major characters in this run. And it seemed like if you had never made another Spawn book after this, it would have been a fitting end, you know?
When does Spawn die?
Well, he did die.
Yeah.
Because I just jumped to 150 real quick, and this isn't Al anymore.
Oh, no, he died in 185 or 186 in Endgame. Then he dies again in issue 300. So he's died twice.
Doesn't he become a Omega Spawn for a while? Like, he becomes a bad guy for a bit, doesn't he?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Because what's his face? Jim Downing takes over as Spawn. The White Spawn reign happens for a little while. Yeah, White Boy takes over for a little while.
And that was so like when I was a kid, I remember going to the comic shop and that was the first Spawn I saw. Like this Spawn with the blonde hair. That's who I thought
that was the first. Oh, okay. All right.
You know, until I started reading Spawn, I'm like, wait, this wasn't Spawn? I was like, you know, kind of confused me. But now I know.
Yeah, I would have to dip into that because I didn't read a lot of those issues. Like that was one of the big gaps where I wasn't reading. I didn't do a lot between 100 and issue 300. I was kind of out once Greg left, and then was in and out of comics there for 10 years or so. Steve says, crazy that Capullo never really got his props till he did Batman, because this is some of his best work. Yeah, you know, and I mean, there was always kind of mainstream comic book readers that had nothing to do with Image or the kind of independent scene looked down on, you know, artists and people from Image. And it wasn't until Batman that Greg really got his props that he deserved, even though he's been a badass or was a badass what he was doing Spawn. I remember when he was announced that he was going to be the Batman artist, there were people complaining, thinking, didn't know too much about Spawn. You could tell because they're like, oh, he's going to come in here, he's going to draw Batman with a 30-foot cape, you know, thinking it was just like a stylistic, like, you know, like, oh, he's not a good artist, blah, blah, blah. They didn't realize the character of Spawn, why he had the cape he had. So, yeah, I remember some pushback, but he came on and did a badass job, but nowhere near to the level, I think, when you're working with guys like Danny Mickey, who added a lot to the art. You know, give a shout out to the inkers here on this book. And Danny Mickey, I've had a pleasure of talking to him, just DMs a couple times, and just, you know, really awesome dude, but just fantastic talent of being able to add what is there to Greg's already beautiful pencils and just making it that much more dynamic. It was a right team at the right time, you know.
Like I said, I just got the omnibus for the new 52 run. I think it's like the first 80 issues of the 50 issues of the Batman that Greg Capullo did. Dude, it's insane. I don't know. I think the art is like off the charts. Yeah, the Quarter Owls, and then it's Death of a Family.
Yep, that was really good too.
That's what I'm on now. That Joker face is like, I feel like that's what like made me enjoy comics again. Was that?
And that
Joker.
Became the kind of like the modern face of the Joker for a while, was Capullo's take on the character.
Yeah, even with when they did the new Batman Spawn, that was the face they used for the Joker. Which I'm assuming they're going to do a second one. They have to. They had the whole setup like Joker. It was ready. If they do,
I hope it's a little bit better, because I was not a big fan of the Spawn Batman crossover. It didn't do it for me. I'll say that I was a little disappointed.
Yeah, there should be a cliffhanger in a book that is going to come out in 8 years.
Well, yeah, if they do it. Admiral Wackus says perfect anti-hero move, not claiming either redemption or the throne. Really dope ending. Yeah, I agree. Batman already had a giant cape in so many versions. No, yeah, I mean, Kelly Jones drew him with a really big cape. I mean, Norm Breakfogel used to draw him with a really big. So it wasn't like that big of an issue. But people got to bitch about something.
I mean, you want
Chuck
to get that.
Gibson.
I mean, yeah, I love how you brought up Kelly Jones. That motherfucker draws anything long.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, even Todd did the same thing too back when he did a couple of the issues of Batman back in the day. Chuck Gibson says, I prefer Capullo's Spawn work over his Batman. No, I agree. I'm right there with you. Right there with you. So that was issue 100 of Spawn. Go check that out. Worth the read. And go back and read some of the other issues. I mean, start with issue 50. I mean, you really can't go wrong if you go 50 to 100. I mean, if you want to start back at 1, you can. You can find these books eBay. You can find them at the LCSs. You can find them online, digital versions. You just got to search for them. You'll find sites that have them for free. So get out and check them out.
When you buy them, you tag us and say you got Spawn because of us, and make sure you let Todd know that you got them.
You let them know that you were reading Spawn because of the Spawn review.
Yes.
Tag him, tag us, let them know. John's
Long
Box.
I'd love to talk to Todd McFarlane on this.
Oh, I'd love to. Absolutely, 100% would love to. Paul, you want to drop a link to your project? I'm going to bring that up real quick before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Next week, guys, Spawn review, 9 p.m. next Monday. When is the new issue coming out? I feel like that's dropping here pretty soon.
Yeah, I think it's in the next week or two. I'm just gonna send you my website because I didn't have the thing up. I don't want to take.
All right, drop it real quick. I'll just bring it up.
Website projectnaosis.com. If you want no multiverse or do-overs, you check out my shit. It's super cool, super stellar, super action, and you order these books, they ship right to your door. We have all the single issues. We have trade paperbacks. You get them signed if you want to, but order them and enjoy it because it's super high quality, off the chain shit. We can't beat that. So join us and it won't disappoint. I recommend grabbing either issue 1 or that trade paperback.
Check it out. I got a link in the chat. If any mods are in the chat, feel free to drop the links as well. Definitely back that. We do have creators on this show, Paul and myself. Zach is working on stuff. Zach, how are your projects coming along?
So right now I just hired a guy to do a variant cover for a cartoon comic that I'm putting together called Pulp Action Captain Fuzzy Lumpkin. It is a ode to anything 90s and early 2000s cartoons, and pretty much I'm working on that with a small little crew, and more pieces will come out, but we're trying to keep it under wraps right now. This year is a gear switch for me. I'm more focusing on getting 3 indie books published, self-published, so that way I can go ahead and pitch to some companies, but also just run my own series. So
nice.
Doing a lot of stuff, but this is as far as I gotten. I drew Nyx.
Oh, let's see it. Yeah, let's bring it up. Oh, nice. You did go with a naked Nyx. Bro. Nice.
So I'm still working on it.
Dude, I love I love the face there.
So you can kind of see the hips. She's pretty much naked except for the bands and the spikes that she's got all around.
Nothing wrong with that. If you guys are unfamiliar, if you're new to the channel, you're new to the chat, Nyx is currently the one sitting on the throne in the current run of Spawn. She is the queen of hell, who would just seem to bring back Spawn from life, as we saw in issue 360. So issue 361 is going to be coming out here pretty soon. And we're going to see a wrap up and see where we're going with that. So be with us for that. We're definitely going to get into that as soon as the new issue drops. And then after the new issue, we'll probably jump into a little bit of the animated series for a little bit. We'll see how that goes. But until then, if you guys have not done it yet, I have a campaign. I have a book called Reaper Destroyer that is getting out into people's hands right now. 1,263 backers. This will be open until February 15th. It is my 43rd birthday. We are ending this campaign on 9 p.m. at Michael Bancroft's channel. I'll probably do some streaming on this channel as well to close the book out. If you haven't got the book, do it now. You have a limited time to do it. But if you have got the book, be patient. I'm getting it out. Lots of orders to do, but I'm getting them out, and we're getting some great reviews from people in the chat. Scary Batman Jenkins, Admiral Wackass, and a few others that have been in the chat lately have all gotten their books and seem to have some good things to say about it. So I appreciate you guys for the great review. If you like Spawn, if you like the darkness, you like the anti-hero, spiritual warfare nature of these books, you're going to love this book. This is about a man who's trapped inside a supernatural suit in prison in a supernatural suit of armor, inhabited by the ancient spirit of death who's trying to possess his soul. The book and the story is so much more than that, and we will talk more about it when it actually comes out and everybody gets a chance to read issue 1. Issue 2 is going to be fun as hell in the direction that we're going. Definitely doing my best to keep this different from Spawn. All along, this was never going to be a Spawn ripoff, and it never will be. It takes influences from a ton of different books that I grew up reading, characters I grew up reading, but this is my character, Reaper Destroyer. I'm absolutely proud of this book, how it came out, how it looks, all the team involved in it. I can't wait for you guys to read it and give me your reviews. So if you haven't, go back it. You got a limited time to do that. February 15th, it is ending. Go do it now. Links are down below. Yeah, what face? Yeah, I know. All I see are boobies. Everyone's loving that drawing. There's Zach. If you guys, Zach hasn't been on the show for a little while, but when he is on, he always does some dope ass drawings for us based on Spawn characters. So check him out as well.
Yeah, I've been. It's nice to get back into the swing of things. So thank you for having me on again.
Yeah, it's great to have you back.
Yeah, we missed you.
We did.
I missed
Eric said,
back.
do you guys do Curse of Spawn at all? We actually, so if you go back into the annals of the videos, we did a run of Curse of Spawn. I think we did 4 or 8 issues of that back in Appreciated Comic Book Art Live, which is another show that is on this channel. It was more of an art review than a story review on that channel, but if you want to, go find it, check it out. That was a very, very fun show that we did. But yeah, Curse of Spawn was fun. Great art.
Hey, Joe, can I say something real quick?
Yes, you can.
We all dip? Okay, so I want to show everyone. All right, so everyone who's watching, I'm doing a new thing. So these are some of the pieces as an example that
it is
nice
on the show.
That's badass. I love that one.
Other way.
There you go. The Haunt.
Haunt. Redeemer, Violator,
yes,
Spawn, Medieval Spawn, and so these are some of the pieces that I've done, just as a prime example. And anyone who's listening on the show, if you guys really do want to see these pieces colored, I have a colorist that I have on lock for any time I do a stream for anything. This colorist, he's agreed to go ahead and color any of the pieces that I send to him for $40. And if you guys want to see a specific piece colored, choose that image that you want to see. Go ahead and send me that DM through Twitter or Instagram. My tag handle is the same, and I will go ahead and send me the money for like I said, 40. And I'll send it directly to him. He'll go ahead and color it. And what I'll do in favor for you is I will mail a color print of that image that you wanted colored straight to your place. So
that's awesome.
That's a new thing I'm doing. If anyone is interested, just hit me up a DM on that thing, like that tag name.
You got links below for Zach too. So just go down there and check him out. You can DM there. That's an awesome deal. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Spawn Review, episode 27, looking at issue 100, The Death of Angela and Malebolgia. It was a fun issue. I give it a 10 out of 10. Great way to end the first 100 issues. Paul, what do you give it?
12 out of 10.
Oh, shit, I like that.
Because everything I've been giving has been 10 out of 10s. And I think I said 50. I think I said 9 out of 10. But this was light years ahead of a lot of the shit I've read from Spawn. So it made me redeem the, oh my God, I gotta read Greg stuff, because I'm in love with Brett Booth stuff right now. I'm in love with it. I think it's gonna be so cool. I think 360 from 370 might be the best things they're ever gonna put out.
No, I agree.
But this is something to look at.
Oh yeah, badass. Zach, I know you hadn't read it yet, but this was kind of a spoiler filled. What did you think? Give me a grade before we get out of here.
See, I knew this book was going to be fucking amazing. I knew it was going to be. And it kills me because I know now, like, looking at the pages, but I still want to buy the book. And if anybody in the chat, if you guys want to buy it for me, like,
go on to eBay.
So let me know.
I don't think it's hard to find. I think you can find it for
it's all 40.
Cheap.
I'm seeing 40. I'm seeing 28.
No, like I it's not that. It's more of like I like hunting for the books. Just like certain types of titles that I like.
Prejudice against eBay.
Spawn and Spider-Man is like 2 titles that I really like to go to stores all around.
9.8, 478.
Well, hopefully you find it. It's one of the best Spawn issues they put out, hands down. All right, everybody. We're going to get out of here. Next week, we'll be back. Spawn Review, 9 p.m. Monday. Be here. If you were new to the chat, thank you so much for joining us. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so you will be notified every time we go live and talk about some awesome Spawn content, as we do here all the time. Maybe the Gooch will be back with us on Monday. We will find out. But until then, it's been a hell of an interesting day. All right, we have a new president. I'm a Chicago Bears fan. I have a brand new coach. Very excited about that. And here we go. Starting 2025 off. It's very, very interesting, guys. Be good to each other. Take care of one another. And as always, picture me naked. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
What the hell are you? Spawn. You sent me to hell, Jason. I'm here to return the favor. I'm gonna try.